Hi everyone, and welcome to the Libra Weekly Tarot Bite reading for the week of August 14th through the 20th. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot reading for Soul Illumination. So hi everyone and welcome. This is a quick reading for the week ahead for the sign of Libra. So we're going to be taking a look and diving a little deeper into the two themes that came up in the general collective reading, which was posted for the week on Sunday evening, if you'd like to view that full reading. Now, the two themes were Never-Ending Story and the Ten of Pentacles. So we are all being asked this week to review a story that we have kind of continually brought forward with ourselves, where we told ourselves that we weren't capable of achieving something, we weren't capable of bringing in something for ourselves, or we weren't capable of doing something, that now we get the chance to finally close that book, put that book on the shelf, and open a new book in the series of our life journey. And this is that week where we get to have a new long-term vision for ourselves, the Ten of Pentacles, that is now based on this new, more empowered version of who we are writing, who we are creating now around this version of ourselves that we can do something that we told ourselves we couldn't. This would be like saying, The previous story I told myself was that I was never going to be someone who could have a successful romantic partnership because of the pain of my past relationships. And this is saying, you know what? My Ten of Pentacles is to have that long-term relationship where we get to grow together into our old age. And in this book, in my series, this is where I get to achieve that, or I get to experience that. So you can fill in the blank of what that is. This could be like saying, I'm a person who will never be able to make money from what I love doing. I'm the person who will never be physically fit because I've always struggled with that in my life. Whatever it is, it's time to say this is not only a new chapter, but it's a whole new book and a whole new you. So what is that long-term vision and what is that story we are finally putting to bed for ourselves? So we're going to sit here and we're going to see, for you, Libra, what does that never-ending story look like? What is that story that you're finally putting to bed, saying it's time for me to write that new first line in my book? So I did give everybody homework in the general collective reading, where for those of you who want to kind of have something to focus on, it was really asking everybody to kind of get to that place where you actually write down that first line in this new book in your life. And you write down the last line on the last page of that book, and you get excited about how life is going to unfold for you in between that first line and the last line over the next few years. Hopefully you write a positive last line. All right, so I'm just going to say this now, Libra. As I was getting into your energy, I did hear, where are we now? Now, I do have a level of kind of clairaudience, so when I actually do hear a phrase like that, it came through pretty strongly of where are we now? There was a questioning of either you with someone else in your life, maybe questioning, the status of your relationship, the status of maybe your work relationship, the status of maybe just even looking at when you question, where are we now? It might even be looking at yourself and just saying, like, where am I in my life trajectory, my life path? So that did come through strongly. Now we do have the Tower, the Five of Swords, and the Princess of Pentacles that came up for the never-ending story. Princess of Pentacles, or the Page of Pentacles, is someone who is out to gather more information. She's someone who is curious about gaining more information for herself through direct experience, because this is in the physical with the pentacle. So she's taking her pentacle, taking a new opportunity, and going out there and saying, like, hey, this is what I have. Let's see what I can do with this. But for many of you with the Tower and the Five of Swords, there is a major life change that is trying to come through for you, where I think there was a level of resistance to that with the Five of Swords. The Tower comes in when we have waited too long to change something in our life that is holding us back. And Spirit comes in and says, I can't keep watching you sit here in stagnation. It's time to let those walls crumble. Now, for some of you, there could be a sense here that there might be a message coming in, because the Page of Pentacles can speak to being a messenger. This could be someone who says, like, hey, like, it's time to just leave that job. Why don't you just apply and do something? Like, why don't you just start applying for something and see what comes in? And suddenly you're like, oh my God, I've been fighting this so long. You're right. Why don't I just start applying for a new job? It could be something as simple as that that's allowing you to break through. I think the last cycle, the book, the never ending kind of story that was coming through for you is that I think many of you felt like you couldn't let the tower fall, that there was a fighting of kind of maintaining a structure, a certain level of a foundation in your experience that you felt it was yours to maintain. Now, this could be in your home life. This could have been even in your work life. Sometimes we feel like we have to keep everything exactly the way that it is, so that we don't have to experience change in a certain aspect of our life. And I think finally with the Princess of Pentacles, this is a new cycle of curiosity. This is a new cycle of learning through direct experience for you. So this could literally be that week where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm done with that. You know what? I am going to let the tower fall in my home life, and I'm going to see how I can change this. This would almost be like saying, we can't keep living paycheck to paycheck anymore. I've tried to maintain how we're living. I've tried, but it's not going to, I got to put down my defenses, which is the Five of Swords, and I got to get curious. And you know what? I'm going to roll up my sleeves, and I'm going to start to go out there and see what I need to do so that we can start to put money aside and not live paycheck to paycheck. Or this could be where, you name it. Anything in your life where you've been trying to maintain the status quo, you didn't want to let something fall in your life, and it's time now to get curious. This would be like saying, like, holding on to the ghost of a past relationship where you're like, I can't let this go. It would be almost like if you were the one who, let's say, you guys broke up, whether it was a divorce or just a breakup, but you were the one that stayed in the house or stayed in the apartment or wherever you two were living together, and you stayed and you kept all of the things, and you're like, I'm just going to try to keep everything going like it was without allowing the tower to fall, to say that relationship is done. That relationship is over. It's time to go out now and start to get curious. Go out and move into a new apartment. Go out and start getting on a dating site and playing around physically with that. There's a sense here of finally looking at an aspect of your life. And I'm sorry, guys, there's something on my leg that I'm trying to make sure it's not a bug or something. But there's a sense here of really, I think this week is going to come into focus very clearly as to what that thing in your life where you tried to not see it, you tried to fight letting something just come tumbling down, so that you are free to go out and experience something else. And this is that week where you're going to, I think, maybe ask to get curious, where is, or what are those other job opportunities out there that I've been telling myself I can't move towards because I have to stay at this job, because I have to make this money, because I'm too afraid to leave this job because this is all I've known, something along those lines. It could also be, again, around a relationship. It could be around something that's ended a long time ago and you're still maintaining it as well. So really take a look at that, whatever that story pertains to specifically for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. For the Ten of Pentacles, we're looking at now, what is this new expanded vision for yourself? When we think of Ten of Pentacles, this is truly our long-term vision for our entire life experience. What is that legacy we want to leave behind? So we have the Hermit. Beautiful. The Hermit speaks to going within. There's a soul-seeking energy here of really getting back in touch again with that star that lies within yourself. That star represents our dreams, our hopes, guiding principles in our life that we really want to shine out there for others to see. But it's also being able to find that magic within, to find that dream within, so that we can put it in our lantern and see the next steps forward for ourselves. We get a chance to kind of come in out of the darkness of that soul-seeking, self-realization, to actually be able to pull out what we truly yearn for, put it in the lantern and look up and say, oh, this is the path I couldn't see before that's starting to lead me towards this new expanded vision for my life experience. But it's one that's going to really allow you to get in touch with who you are and the magic you uniquely bring into every situation. That's also part of what the Hermit speaks to, is really finding that magic within and shining it out there boldly for others to see. Okay, anything else that Libra needs to know for the Ten of Pentacles? Okay, we have the King of Cups. Interesting. So the King of Cups is scorpionic energy. You may have a Scorpio in your life, but scorpionic energy, specifically with the King of Cups, speaks to emotional maturity. It speaks to really being able to be in touch with your intuition. It can actually also represent that kind of loving, unconditional, paternal archetype as well, the loving father. And it can be the spiritual advisor as well. So there's a sense here of really getting into that place of trusting your emotions, of hearing and listening and feeling your own intuition. But getting to that place of emotional stability and emotional maturity that is very helpful as we are looking to let a major tower fall in our life as we're going. In fact, as we go through major life changes, there's a sense of, learning how to go through these kind of very difficult, like all of a sudden, like your work life falls apart, or all of a sudden your home life is shaken up. But learning how to stay emotionally grounded through those periods of time, to understand what it's unlocking about your life experience, to understand that those times in our life are not meant to push us down. They're not meant to drag us back. They're meant to free us from the tower, which has become a prison, and to allow the curious child to go out and continue to experience life so that we continue on a path of learning, on a path of expansion. And so there's a sense here of really finding that magic within, of finding that emotional maturity, of trusting your intuition. And I get the feeling that for many of you, there might be this expanded vision that's coming into view, but through something that directly ties to a dream that maybe you forgot about, that you might have repressed, that you didn't think was possible. The Princess of Pentacles or the Page of Pentacles can also represent going back to school or taking a course that's going to give you a new level of education or a skill set. So there's a sense here of maybe for some of you, you're finally doing that. You're like, you know what? It's time for me to just bite the bullet and go back to school. It's time for me to finally bite the bullet and realize I do need, if I want to level up in this aspect of my life, I have to take that what do you call it? That course. And somehow there's going to be this realization that might actually unlock for you something within that you didn't even realize. You're like, I feel called to gain more information in this aspect of my life. And suddenly you're like, oh my gosh, this is awakening that part of myself again. And with the King of Cups, there's the energy of holding true to that, having that emotional maturity to say, I'm trusting myself this time around. Beautiful. Okay, Libra, let's go ahead. This can also just be one too, where maybe in the past cycle, maybe you were a little more ruled by your emotions. Maybe you were, or not as in touch with them. And there's a sense here of in this next book in your life series, you are going to honor your emotions. You're going to utilize those emotions in a productive way, and you're going to allow them to directly connect you to what you want to experience in your life, which is beautiful. Okay, let's see here. But there is something about this week of kind of being clear as to where there's a major change that needs to take place, that you're finally going to say, I'm just going to put down those swords and I'm going to get curious. Okay, so we have 2 cards as your final message for the week. We have Giraffe Spirit, See the Big Picture, number 29, breaking down to Master number 11, which is the doorway. It actually can be the doorway between the subconscious and the conscious, which is beautiful, to bringing something forward that's becoming clear now for yourself. There's also, this is the doorway between what is and what can be for ourselves if we have the confidence to walk through that gateway into the new when Spirit opens it up for ourselves. We always have these opportunities to do that. So see the big picture. See beyond the limitations of the tower you're clinging to. And it says Buffalo Spirit, the abundant universe will provide. Number 10, breaking down to number 1 in numerology. So this harnesses the energy of endings and beginnings. And I love that it says the abundant universe will provide, because I think for many of you, there is a sense here of, if I let the tower fall in this part of my life, I won't have enough. Or if I let this person go out of my life, I will never meet another person who I love as much. Or if I let this way of being go, I may never find as good of a version of myself. And this is all about saying the bigger picture is meant for us. Again, the tower needs to come down so that we can continue to expand and grow and move towards our higher potential. And so there's a sense here of really trusting that, and trusting that the universe will provide for you if you have that confidence to walk through that doorway. All right, I will leave it there. I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead, Libra. If you'd like to book a personal reading, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website. Otherwise, the full tarot scope is up for the month of August, is up on my channel for each sign. If you'd like to view yours, they're about 50 minutes in length and really dive deeper into the energies for the month. And if you would like to be notified when I release my videos each week or for the month ahead, you can subscribe to the channel and click on the notification icon, and hopefully you'll get updated as to when I release my videos. And if you do decide to subscribe, I so greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. It makes this even more fun and fulfilling for me. All right, I will leave it there. Bye, Libra.